This is why you'll find things like whole grains, peanuts, and all that. They're meant to feed the masses regardless of the downside. And the downside with peanuts is number one, they are the largest source of aflatoxin in our food supply. Aflatoxin is the most cancer causing compound known to man. And I know a lot about toxic mold because I've had toxic mold in my house. I filmed a documentary on it. And Danger Coffee is lab tested for mold because mold actually affects your consciousness in a major way. And I talk about that in Heavily Meditated. Then, okay, aflatoxin in peanuts, let's say that magically you get some peanuts that don't have that, even though it's very common. Well, they're very high in a form of lectin that is rough on some people's biology, but not others. Lectin's a plant defense compound. But if that wasn't enough, they're exceptionally high in oxalate, which is another plant defense compound that forms razor sharp calcium crystals. So if you happen to have urinary tract infections or interstitial cystitis, or you have weird skin outbreaks, or you have pain in your joints, this is from razor sharp calcium crystals forming when oxalate from peanuts and spinach and kale and raspberries and almonds and a bunch of other stuff, when they form in your body, you get system-wide problems the way I used to have and I don't anymore. And on top of that, peanuts also contain something called very long chain saturated fatty acids. Now, generally, I like saturated fats because they're stable, but these are such long chains, they don't fit in your cell membranes. So instead of going in the way they should to allow insulin and things to work, they go in sideways and clog up your cell membranes. These very long chain saturated fats are correlated with Alzheimer's disease, and you find a lot more of it in the brains of those with Alzheimer's. So why would you eat peanuts? Because they taste good. Dude, there's plenty of things like ribeye that taste good too. Just eat stuff that has less toxins and also tastes good.
Okay, fair enough. When I heard about the whole peanut thing, this is when I was really sick. I was working with a naturopath, and he was helped me get back to health. And he said, avoid peanuts like the plague.
Yeah,
Get them
they're
out of your
terrible.
diet. My digestive system got better. My skin, even I noticed my skin got better. And I honestly don't even miss it after 8, 9 years of just cutting them out.
That was the oxalate probably causing those problems for you. And
Interesting.
you won't miss peanut butter. If you must do a nut butter, and by the way, I haven't had a nut butter in a while, macadamia butter is clean, and pili nuts, which most people haven't heard of, Pili.
Mhm.
They're almost all monounsaturated. They don't have oxalate. I don't know if there's pili nut butter, but I pretty much would eat macadamias or pilis. And if you want, an ounce of walnuts, they're relatively moderate. Just what I used to do was, oh, I'll just cook with nut flour and I'll eat a whole bunch of nuts. Nuts and seeds and grains and legumes are all full of oxalate. But with grains, if you take off the outer part where all the toxins are to protect the inside, then they're okay. So white rice, or even, this will be shocking, white flour without glyphosate, if you ferment it to make sourdough bread,
Mhm.
I had some of that this morning. So I don't eat American wheat because it's a hard wheat that's full of aggressive gluten, and all of the wheat here is contaminated with glyphosate. So a teaspoon of American wheat wrecks my gut. But if I buy wheat from France and I ferment it, I can eat bread and I have zero symptoms.
So are you making your own sourdough?
Yeah.
Amazing. So you are pro sourdough, homemade, all that good
No,
stuff.
I'm pro soft European wheat with no
Okay.
glyphosate sourdough. Because
Okay.
if you go to the store and you buy white flour in the US and then you try to make sourdough, you are not going to get the same results. And if you're celiac, you'll have issues. If you're at the bottom of your health journey, maybe you shouldn't try that. For me, I have the same effect from white rice as I do from sourdough made from glyphosate free, soft European wheat. And the good news is, even Walmart sells French wheat. And do not
Oh,
buy Italian wheat because right now there's a shortage of wheat in Europe. So they're sending American contaminated flour to Italy where they grind it and sell it as Italian wheat. Go for the
oh,
French
their
stuff.
health issues. They're gonna
Oh, yeah.
experience what we do now.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
What about tiger nuts? I know that's typically a tuber, but what do you think about those?
It's been a while since I looked at tiger nuts. I don't think I could talk intelligently about that.
Okay. Hey, I love the answer. Um, can we talk about stevia for a second
Sure.
because I have been very like anti stevia. I know it's a contraceptive and it can alter the gut microbiome, but I've also heard it's a biofilm disruptor, and that's good.
You know, it depends on the use case. So the dose and usage for contraception, I've read a bunch of stuff about this, and I know that historically it's been used in a couple countries for that, but I don't know what effect it's having on humans. I think there's a lot of other fertility disruptors. In fact, I wrote a book. My first ever book was on restoring fertility and having healthier babies. My the mother of my children, my former wife, was infertile when we met, and it took nutrition to turn her system around so that we could have our two kids. And my daughter is about to turn 18. Right. So this
And
knowledge
what,
is out there.
okay, so just give us a little bit of a hint. What was like the three main things you helped your previous wife do as far as nutrition?
In the world of biohacking, this won't sound that radical, but you got to remember this was actually now 20 years ago when we did the programs because my daughter's 18, and the book is, I don't know, 15 years old now, but people still buy it and they still have kids with it. What we did is we ate a ton of saturated fats, including choline donors like egg yolks, which is really important. We got her off of endocrine disruptors like flax and soy. So putting flaxseed and using soy milk in your morning routine is just not a good idea. And remove toxins and added more animal protein. And
Okay.
doing that and reducing stress, but having healthy circadian rhythm is really important.